I want to tell you a story a friend entrusted to me a couple of years ago. He, at that time, worked in public security in the systems area, and he says they had a rather strange report from a policeman. The officer was on his way to work, patrolling one of the main streets of the city. It was between 1 and 2 in the morning when he reported finding a woman, apparently disoriented or drugged. He decided to see what was happening. The policeman asked the woman if she was okay. She, with a lost look, said yes, that she was waiting for her son. The officer kept asking what she was doing and if she was really okay, but the woman only nodded. Finally, the policeman reported that he would take her to his patrol to make sure she was fine and not in danger. After insisting, she accepted to get into the patrol and indicated which street to take to get to her house. As he turned a corner and passed in front of a hospital, the patrol's lights and sirens suddenly started operating on their own. He got out and tried to fix whatever had happened, while the woman remained inside the patrol with that same vacant stare. They asked the policeman if everything was all right and he answered yes, that it was strange but the problem was solved. He continued driving where the woman had indicated. On that street there are 2 cemeteries. Before arriving at the second one, she told the policeman to let her off there. He asked why right there, and she answered that her son would pass by her. The policeman decided to let her out and see what would happen. She walked up to the bars of the cemetery gate. The policeman sent a report saying he had left her in that place but that he would take another lap to see what was happening. So he turned around and returned along the same avenue. As he approached the cemetery again, he saw a man running toward him, gesturing wildly to stop. The policeman stopped and asked what was happening. The man, highly upset, said he was the watchman of the cemetery and that what the officer had left there was not a woman. The watchman went into a nervous crisis, describing how the woman, as she walked, had been changing appearance. Her face had taken on a different look, her eyes bright and terrifying. It was a demon, the man shouted. The policeman, alarmed, went down to the cemetery entrance accompanied by the watchman. The gates, the iron bars at the entrance, were forced open as if hit with a heavy pole. One bar was totally bent and the other was only being held by the padlock and the chains the watchman had put on at night. The watchman insisted that while the woman was descending toward the gate she had been turning into that demon, and when she opened her arms the doors had been thrown open with such force they were left like that. My friend says that within minutes the entrance to that cemetery was full of patrols. The policeman and the watchman, deep in a nervous crisis, searched everything and found absolutely nothing. They decided not to say much, since there was no explanation for what had happened that night. They say everything was recorded, and when my friend heard what had happened he was stunned, despite being skeptical about these things.